What's good with it, Black Goose TV family, man? Double salute as always. Your boy Fluence Boxing is back in the building again with some more Fluence Boxing news. And look, you already know I was gonna talk about it. You already know I was finna make a video about it, man. This is the talk of the town when it comes to the boxing community right now. And I'm trying to figure out exactly what is going on. What am I talking about? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Y'all see the title below. Y'all see what I'm showing right here. Look. Conor Benn is supposedly being investigated over claims of a second drug test failure. I have not read this article. I'm going off of headlines. And I've seen a lot of headlines, whether it be YouTubers, whether it be boxing articles, whether it be the Googles, whatever the case may be. I've seen a lot of headlines, and I'm trying to wrap my head around this, and I'm trying to figure out, are we talking about the B sample? Because remember, Conor Benn failed a drug test leading up to the Chris Eubank Jr. fight, but it was only the A sample. They had not tested the B sample yet. They ended up calling the fight off just based off of that A sample results. What a lot of people don't realize is without him having his B test actually tested, it prevents him from having any type of suspension or having any type of disciplinary action put upon him. So if he says and forgoes, hey, no B test, don't test that. Look, let's just say the fight's off. He can continue to fight. He can continue to schedule another fight. There won't be any type of discipline put down on him. He won't have to be banned. He won't have to have a suspension, nothing like that. Now, there was a lot of uproar, and I won't say uproar, but I saw a lot of professional, ex-fighters saying like, hey, his B sample should be tested. His B sample should be tested. If Conor Benn and his team choose not to test the B sample, we should be like, yo, red flags everywhere. What's going on? Why don't you want that B sample tested, Conor Benn, if you're clean, right? There was also speculation. There was reports coming from his camp saying they were trying to decide whether or not they want to test the B sample. They were saying, well, if the fight's not going to happen, what's the point of us testing the B sample if the fight's not going to happen? That's a waste of everybody's time, money, and resources. Why? Right? So I'm trying to figure out, is these recent reports, as you can see, Conor Benn being investigated over claims of a second drug test failure, is this because they ended up going ahead, Conor Benn, because the only way they would have been able to test the B sample, Conor Benn and his team had to give the okay. So was it because him and his team gave it okay and they tested the B sample? It came out, positive once again. And so then I was like, oh, okay, well, we're like, even though the fight's not happening, we got to suspend the dude. We have to take disciplinary action on this guy. We can't just let him get away with failing a drug test, even if the fight's off, and not giving him any repercussions for it. Right? Is that the case? Or from what, I don't think this is the truth, and I'm hoping this isn't the truth, but apparently there's reports also where he's actually failed a drug test in the past and it got covered up. And now all of a sudden with the recent debacle happening, that somehow came back to the forefront. And now all of a sudden they're investigating that as well again. I don't know. That's something else I've seen kind of floating through the internet, through the boxing YouTube streets as well. I'm hoping this article right here is able to, clear everything up for me and give me a better idea of what's going on when it comes to the Conor Benn situation. I just dropped a video yesterday talking about Chris Eubank Sr. saying he believes Conor Benn is not a drug cheat. He says whatever may end up in his system, he doesn't think it's him. He thinks it's the people around him. So respect to Eubank Sr. having that stance, saying he's going to take or he's going to make sure the promoters pay. You feel me? I don't know what that means, but I'm thinking legal action. But with all that being said, let's find out what's really happened, or at least I'm praying and I'm hoping that this article gives us a lot more insight and details so we can stop speculating, we can stop guessing, we can stop, guesstimating, and we can have the real facts, the real answers, because that's what we're here for. By the way, before we get up into this, man, hit the like button below, subscribe to the channel, you feel me, notification gang, y'all know, and y'all see I've been on the grind lately, man. I'm going crazy. Like before the end of this year, y'all don't know, man, I'm gonna be going crazy with this YouTube shit. So y'all just keep, supporting your boy, showing love, man. Like the video, even dislike, man. Either one gets me in the algorithm. Subscribe, drop your comments. I'm never offended. Let me know how you feel, especially with this particular story. But let's get into this article because, shit, I'm just as curious as you are, man. Let's go. BoxingScene.com. Conor Benn being investigated over claims of a second drug test failure. Let's go. According to a report by the Daily Mail, rising welterweight star Conor Benn is being investigated over claims he failed a second drug test, which the paper indicates took place prior to the drug test failure, which ultimately canceled last weekend's planned pay-per-view fight with Chris Eubank Jr. Last Wednesday, the Daily Mail first broke the news that Benn had tested positive for the banned substance clomiphene. The test in question, which was administered by respected drug testing agency VADA, had been taken a few weeks earlier. After the story was broken and quickly began to circulate, the British Boxing Board of Control would issue an official statement where the organization announced the removal of their sanction for the Ben Eubank encounter. While promoters Eddie Hearn and Kelly Sutherland were initially planning to present a legal challenge to the BBOC's position, they decided to postpone the entire event. The Daily Mail did not reveal the date of the claimed second test failure, but notes that the alleged substance is once again clomiphene. Veteran promoter Frank Warren spoke to the paper and revealed that members of the British boxing community were aware of Ben's testing issues. A few of us have known about this earlier test for some time. That makes it even more of a scandal, more damaging to our sport than everyone thought. Clomiphene was created as a fertility aid for women, but male athletes have used the drug to boost their testosterone, which in turn created a ban of the drug in all mainstream sports. Several outlets in the UK have revealed that UKAD is already in the process of conducting their own probe. UKAD has reportedly made a request to secure Ben's test results from VADA for a planned investigation where the undefeated boxer could face a potential penalty of a multi-year ban if found guilty. So this is definitely a lot vaguer than I wanted it to be. Okay, so it seems like people don't really know what's going on because it doesn't make sense. How is he being investigated over claims he failed his second drug test, but it's indicating it took place prior to the drug test failure that canceled last weekend's planned pay-per-view fight? If you're telling me he reportedly failed a drug test previous to the drug test that got the fight canceled, Chris Eubank Sr. is looking more and more like a fucking I don't even know what to call it, like a psychic, man. Because he said, and y'all go check that video out, he's like, I don't believe it's Conor Benn. I'm going after the promoters. And this aligns more with the fact, because remember I said, okay, it made sense for Chris Eubank Sr. to be calling a boycott within the last 2 weeks because they knew about the results. And he was saying, oh, man, this isn't right. This is how people get brain damage. This shouldn't be sanctioned. You should boycott this fight. So in my head, I'm assuming now afterwards, knowing everything, okay, he's doing all of this. He's politicking because I'm like, well, he knows about the failed drug test. He's like, this ain't right. But that doesn't answer why previously he was against this fight and he didn't want to be in Eubank's corner. And he was still saying this fight shouldn't go on. How long has both parties, promoters, companies known that Conor Benn failed a drug test? Because it seems like this is what I think happened. This is me. I'm gonna put on my speculative glasses, and my speculative goggles. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly, right here. I think Conor Benn failed a previous drug test with VADA, and I think Eddie Hearn and Sutherland both saw it. They went over to Eubank's camp and they said, "Hey, he failed this test, but he told us it's a mistake. How do you feel about moving forward and us sweeping this under the rug?" And I think Chris Eubank said, yeah, let's do it. I believe I can beat this guy even if I don't train. Let's do it. Right? That's what I think happened. And I think Chris Eubank Sr. got wind of this because I don't believe there's very many things going on in Chris Eubank Jr.'s camp without him knowing. And he was probably like, no, this is how, no, hell no. You already cutting weight. You're going under a weight that you never fought under. This is ridiculous. They have a rehydration clause. Why would you take this chance? But Eubank, he's 33. He's on the tail end of his career. This is going to be probably one of the biggest fights. This probably will be, if not one of the biggest fights of his entire career that we will look back on and say, oh, damn. And I think Eubank Jr. knew that. He needed that on his. He's like, I need this fight. He knows he needs this fight because he's probably not going to get a real big fight other than this one. This is probably going to be his biggest fight. And even now, it's not that big when it comes to U.S. terms, but UK terms it is. And when you look back on it, it'll mean a lot. So he's like, nah, let's move forward with the fight. If we can sweep this under the rug, let's move forward with the fight. Especially, I think initially Conor Benn and his team said, we don't know where this came from. It's an adverse testing. We're clean. Watch when they test this the second time. You don't even have to worry about this. When I come out positive, you don't got to worry about sweeping this under the rug because you're going to say, hey, look, he failed here, but look, he came positive. That's on VADA. And what ended up happening is he failed the second test. And that's what fucked everything up. I think they've known about him failing a drug test for at least over a month and a half. I'm not going to go with stitches all this. I may end up doing a live, you know what I'm saying, so we can kind of track back the dates. But I think as soon as we saw Chris Eubank Sr., really, really going crazy and saying, I'm not going to be there. I don't want this fight to happen. I think that's when they found out about the first test. But I think everyone was like, okay, I'm going to believe Conor Benn. I'm going to believe he's a clean person. Once we have that second random test from VADA and he passes with flying colors, we're going to be good. But he failed. And that's where everything got crazy. So the question I want to ask, and remember, that's me putting on my speculative goggles, my allegedly glasses, you feel me? That's what I think happened. But my question is, why is Conor Benn being investigated Shouldn't the promotion be investigated? The promoter, he doesn't have the power to hide these tests. And that goes back to what Chris Eubank Sr. was saying. I don't blame Conor Benn. I blame the team around him, the people who are putting him in this position. I think Conor Benn's a good kid. I believe Chris Eubank Sr. I don't think Conor Benn, that's not his ideal. That's not what he wants to do. So what do y'all feel about this, man? This is crazy. I'm going to keep it short for the most, or as short as possible. I don't want to make this long-winded. Y'all already know I'm going live tonight. Much love to the people. Might talk about this a little bit, but this is a crazy situation. I really hope this doesn't ruin Conor Benn's career, man. He's 25 years old. They're talking about a potential 2-year ban if they end up finding out about that. He's going to be 28, basically. He's still young, still in his prime, but he'll lose so many years, man. So many years. 2 years is everything in boxing. But let me know what y'all think, man. Drop it below in the comments. Hit the like button while you're doing that. Subscribe to the channel. Show some love. You already know. On Sports Nigga Side of the Game. I'll be back with more boxing. Double salute. Much love to the people. And you already know I'm going live tonight. So make sure